Thank you for staying with us here on Newday on TV3. It's time for the big issue, and we'll start the conversation with the disturbing news that took place in the Ashanti region about how an EPA task force was attacked by illegal miners, and we know that they had to flee and in running away, basically. There was an accident that has resulted in injury to some of our colleagues. Two of them are in a very serious condition. One, we are told, has a broken thigh. What I want us to do at this point is to listen to the EPA boss, Professor Kluche. A very important interview she granted to my colleague Alfredo Kansi last night. And what I want you to pay attention to closely is first, the mission the team was engaged in. Secondly, how the team was confronted by some armed individuals. Some had CID vests, and pay attention to how she details the extent of arms they were wielding, such that the military and national security operatives that were protecting the task force took the decision that they want to beat a retreat. They had to basically move away. And also the communal involvement. Those in the community also participated. They pelted stones at the cars. We showed you a bit of that video. We'll bring back that video as well and show you how that happened. And the fourth point she makes is about intelligence that they had picked when they were leaving, about the fact that they could not use the roads that they had used while going to the place because of a possibility of attack that had been more or less hatched, waiting for them on the way. So they had to use alternate routes. And the accident that happened, the car that they had the head-on collision with was also carrying some items for those illegal miners. Look, just pay close attention to this interview. Very important. Let's listen to the EPA boss talk about what exactly happened yesterday.
We want to establish a bit more detail on exactly what happened beyond this preliminary information that we've gotten. Unfortunately, Professor Nanama Brown Kluche heads the Environmental Protection Authority. She's joining us on Zoom right now. Prof. Kluche, good evening. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Good evening, sir. Thanks for having me.
A very troubling and worrying development. And first off, let's establish how my colleague journalists are doing right now, those who are in the hospital.
Yeah, thank you very much. We thank God that we all have our lives now. It's just unfortunate that we have some injuries. As I said, the most critical one is a broken tie, which is one of the Joy TV cameraman who had a broken tie. Your correspondent, Abubakar, had he had chest pains and he is responding to treatment. Adom TV correspondent, that's Joseph, with a head injury. He's also responding to treatment. Then we have some EPA staff who were also involved in the accident. They are all responding to treatment, and we have discussed it with the doctors and nurses in charge to pay special attention to them, because we were on a national assignment before this unfortunate incident happened. Yeah, so as the operation we started yesterday, it's a 3-week plan that the EPA has to ensure, especially the services that others provide for mining in our water bodies, which is illegal. We plan to tackle that aspect as well. So we realize that it's not just enough to say stop mining in the river bodies, but again, we saw that we needed to deal with the suppliers. So we took over the shops, closed down many shops at the Arian Kwanta, as I narrated yesterday. So today we were on another route to close down some other shops. On our way near Obuasi, we saw people on the ground, the galamsey happening on the ground. So we decided to have a look at what they were doing. When we stopped and walked into the area, in fact, where they're actually mining, they have access routes, so we had to stop by the roadside and walk to the ground, the field where they are mining. So as we were going closer, they were running away, and they did, all of them left by the time we got there. So we looked around what we could pick. We did pick Whilst leaving, we saw that there were actually more of the excavators, 3 of the excavators that is inside a river body.
Inside?
So, inside river body. So, in fact, they had mined in the river body and blocked the river in such a way that it has taken different tributaries around the area and flooded some places. It's messy. It was really a bad situation. So we actually went to the car and used another route to the place. And whilst there, the people also ran. We called them to come, and then just before we could even have a conversation, they had sent news around, and so we saw built men, a number of them came with guns. We had the military with us anyway, and the national security also were with us. But then we saw that we couldn't exchange fire, so we could not fight them. So we had to run for our lives. So in the course of we running, speeding on the road, we encountered this accident. So one of the cars, which had some EPA staff and some of the journalists, had a head-on collision with a truck that is actually carrying some pipes for galamsey, these galamsey operations. We saw some of them on the field. So they had a head-on collision, and we had the injuries that they are now at the hospitals and attending to treatment.
I see. So you're indeed confirming that you were attacked by galamsey operators. I mean, we say well-built, heavily armed people.
Yes. So, yeah. So some of them were dressed in black, like complete black from top to down, and some of them were wearing vests like this with CID written at the back. We asked them, in fact, the soldiers, the national security men, asked them of their ID card and stuff like that. So it was becoming confrontational, and then we had to leave because we couldn't. They said they cannot overpower them, so we had to leave. They had their arms, but we didn't. Of course, EPA doesn't. We didn't have, so we had to run.
I see. Now, what prompted the decision to run? Were they attempting to fire at you or attack you?
Yeah. So whilst they were having the confrontation, we got intel. So I got a phone call from Accra that we should leave immediately where we are, and that even the route we plan to take, we should not use it again, and we should not return on the same route we came from Kumasi to Obuasi. So we had to use another route altogether, much longer through Central region, through Western region, and then back to Kumasi. But just before we reached Kumasi is when we had a head-on collision.
And this change in route, as a result of that call you got, was because intelligence had been picked that you could possibly be attacked if you used the same route you came?
Yes. So as I received the call, the national security operators also had a similar call. So they were giving us feedback as they drove right in front of my vehicle, and we had one driving 2 vehicles behind. So we got phone calls from different sources, but all from the national security, that picking intel that where we are is not safe, and that we had to take cover immediately.
This is troubling. And you say that you saw some of these heavily built men wielding weapons. They were wearing vests with CID written at the back of it?
Yeah, with guns. In fact, pump action, they said.
And they refused to produce an ID to authenticate whether they are indeed CID officials?
Yeah, they didn't have any ID to identify themselves as security agents.
And the military personnel that you were with, were they armed?
Yeah, some had guns with them, but not all of them. But then when they assessed the situation, they knew we cannot exchange like that, so we had to move.
Indeed, obviously, because with what you're describing, you were outnumbered. Correct.
Exactly.
And with the people that, because of the intel you had gotten, and the word that had gone out, that
Yeah.
so
And actually, the longer we stayed, the more they came. So
wow.
then, yeah, we had to leave almost immediately. We saw those signals and received the calls.
I see. But these persons who were wearing the CID vest, were they with the illegal miners?
I would say yes, because they asked the illegal miners, they were in their Wellington boots.
Right.
I mean, the illegal miners came in their Wellington boots on motorbikes. And these built-up men were in like normal military boots with their guns and their black outfits and the vests.
I see. Now, and they refused to, even with the interrogation from the military personnel you were with, they didn't want to cooperate. They didn't want to give the information as you were asking for.
Yeah, not at all. They couldn't produce any ID cards or any identification.
I see. And just based on that, the trail of information that you got, which led to you changing your course and taking a different course, is it to say that you were on some top speed because of the fear of your own life? Reason why it led to this coalition? Let's understand what led to this head-on coalition.
Okay, so we drove in a number of vehicles. The national security were ahead, were the lead vehicle, and my vehicle followed. So we had to go, let's say, a number of vehicles in a convoy. So we had to move at the pace the national security operators are moving. So we couldn't help it. We had to just go.
I thank you, Prof, for this. And before I let you go, the other colleague of mine, you say, has a broken tie. What's the extent of the injury? Do you know?
Yeah, I learned from the doctors that it's broken and position of, so it's broken and position changed as well. So they assessed the situation, and I learned they can fix it even here in Ghana. But I got the assurance from the presidency that if it cannot be fixed in Ghana, they are ready to send him out of the country to get it fixed.
You've been on this operation, as you indicated, for a number of days now. In fact, a couple of days you closed down a whole chamfang manufacturing company. They were fabricating chamfangs in this country.
Yeah.
Chinese.
Yes. Yeah, so in the warehouses where the water pumps, the champagne engines, the water hose, the mats, or they call it blankets that they use to capture gold when they are washing. Mm-hmm. And in the same warehouse, they do the fabrication of the washer. That is the metal that they wash the gold on in the warehouses. Some are doing it in the front, and then of course we have some Ghanaian-owned mechanic shop that also do this fabrication. But the fabrication of these washers or this metal structure is illegal in the country. We're not supposed to have that done. I saw a Ghanaian in his shop, and I asked him if he knows that what they fabricate is illegal. He said he doesn't know. So we did education for him, and then we asked him to dismantle the whole structure and not to go back to it. So even when we saw Ghanaians, we still dealt with it. We had our mechanics also with us. So when the shop owner is not there, we do the cutting ourselves, and then we leave.
Prof, I do appreciate you spending some time with us, and we'll touch base again tomorrow to get an update on the well-being of the journalists and your team as well, who were affected as a result of this accident. Thank you.
That's my colleague Alfredo Kanse speaking in that interview with Professor Nana Ama Brown Kluche, who heads the Environmental Protection Authority, detailing what exactly happened yesterday. And yes, we have checked, and our colleagues are in much better condition than yesterday. We do wish them a speedy recovery for that very unfortunate incident. I want us to watch a short video clip that we got from some of the journalists on board the bus just watch and listen to what was transpiring. You should pay attention to something. The cars are coming from the road on the left-hand side, and you see one of the community people pelting stones at the car, and you see all of a sudden they will have to start moving very fast. Let's watch this.
Oh, no way. Oji, you mind going? I can't go. No more. I can't go. I was on what I need to drink. And the young oh, no way. Oji, you mind going? I can't go. No more. I can't go. I was on what I need to drink. And the young
Let me introduce you to my guest in the studio now. Isata is MP for Sanerugu. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Kwame Jantua is a legal practitioner, member of the Convention People's Party, and energy analyst as well. Senior, thank you for joining us as always.
Good morning, Baby Council.
Good morning, Senior. Also joining us in the studio is Ebo Bachman. Ebo Bachman is Deputy Communications Director for the United Party. I heard Senior asking him earlier on, why UP? Ebo had that reaction of, now I launched that I don't know. I think I will be something say, why UP? Ebo, good to have you as always.
It's always a,
Prof is next to me as always. Professor Enoch Opokwentry is a governance and policy analyst, and Prof has a large fan base in Virginia. He doesn't even know the Virginia people. They're always sending me messages about Prof. Prof, good morning.
Morning, Aka. It's always a pleasure to be here. Greetings to our viewers everywhere in the world.
You have a message for us this morning?
Yes, I have a message for two individuals. I like an attitude of Ghanaians, the youth. I've seen about 5 situations where somebody's car have got into the gutter or has got, and then the youth will mobilize themselves quickly and come and help. I like it so much. It's a very positive attitude. They should keep it up. Then I'm also recommending trotro drivers. Yesterday, somebody got stuck at Oponglo to Kaneshi, and now the Ubers are very expensive. So the person said $96 cedis, but the trotro took 8 cedis. So I want to say that these trotro drivers are really helping Ghanaian economy, especially the middle class and the lower class. So the government should do whatever it can to support them in many ways.
The middle class take trotro.
Yes,
Yes,
middle class.
sometimes.
The lower middle class, I guess. The lower middle class. Yes, but they are very.
When it becomes necessary.
Yes, I mean they are very important. I agree with him on the importance
Does
to
he
the
take trotro? Will he take trotro?
economy when it becomes necessary. Like
You will take
Ebo
trotro.
said, yes.
Oh yes, I have.
Yes, when it becomes necessary. There are some places that if you do the ride hailing in and out, your money would get finished.
Yeah.
And the challenge that I see these days, especially around 5 p.m., you have a lot of people who are at these bus terminals and the cars are basically not around because I guess the traffic situation, they are not moving and coming back quickly. So very important part of our whole transport infrastructure.
Let me tell
You
you a
want to
story.
say something?
I took my car to the mechanic, and I was supposed to go for it. And I decided, try trotro. And I sat in the trotro. Those who recognized me were wondering, what is this man doing in this trotro? Then one of them took initiative and tapped my shoulder. Said, are you Mr. Jantua? I said, yes. Are you the one who comes on TV3? I said, yes. Oh, sir, trotro here. But I took the trotro. You know why I took the trotro? I wanted to hear conversations that people have in the trotro. And so sometimes, if we try to take trotro, it becomes a challenge. As much as it's just a means of transportation. But not a lot of people. This is why some of us say the public transport system should be put in place. An effective one. A one that is graduated. You have those high price, those who can afford, middle, and then down. And you see, and one of the major challenges is that we have crowded the roads, so we can't even expand the roads for roadways, for special routes for public transport. It is something we should try and do.
Absolutely.
As for me,
Absolutely.
I have a lot to say about Cape Coast Technical University. I think at the right time.
Yes, I think some time ago you raised some issues about what's going on there.
University. I have a lot of things to say about that area.
Okay.
A certain mafia is taking over the institution and they are doing whatever they like.
Oh, and congratulations to
So,
our rivals.
We'll deal with it.
Fanspin for winning. Yes.
They beat us Opokuwari. We've been in the finals for the past 23 years. We've been in the finals 9 times. This is the 10th time. Yes. We've won only 2 of them.
They beat us at the quarterfinals too.
Okay.
At this school.
All right. So congrats to Infanspin there.
Papa boys.
And kudos to the Opokuwari Akatechie boys. We are behind. We are Akatechie.
Okay.
Yes.
We are always in front of the walls. We will come back again next year powerfully.
We will all come back again next year.
I want to start our discussion.
Oh, okay.
I want to start our discussion this morning with Prof. Right by me and Prof. Listening to. I want to start first with the EPA boss, Professor Kluche. Listening to her, I was very disturbed as a Ghanaian listening to her, and I mean, we all know how serious galamsey is, but the enormity of what we are dealing with just was staring at me very wide in the face. I mean, what do you make of what we are learning from her in terms of what exactly happened?
Aka, yesterday when I saw the topics that we were going to talk about, I went to my wardrobe and picked EPA certificate. When I finished university, I did my national service at Koforidua EPA office. So I worked with Mr. Otin, who is here director, and then Joseph. EPA's work and what is going on here, we are drinking palm nut soup as if it is light soup, which is very dangerous. Now, listening to the EPA boss who said that the longer we stayed, the more they came. So we had to run away. I've watched movies of no retreat, no surrender, but this is yes retreat, yes surrender. With all the military and then the national security with them, they could not stand galamsey people who were armed and macho men. They had to retreat. And the sad part was the community pelting stone at them. Pelting stones at them. The whole attack started when they were at Dajuni. And from Dajuni, they had to go to Afari. It was their ferry that the accident happened when I read the story. The convoy team had to retreat. And who is going to crack the whip in this situation? The communities are compromised. The forest has been taken over. Now we have about 49 forests that we're struggling with that have been destroyed by galamsey. We have a situation where we prescribe a lot of solutions. I have even stated that these galamsey people are stakeholders. Because most people don't know that when we talk about internal stakeholders and external stakeholders, we even have the environment itself as a stakeholder. And who takes care of the environment? It's either the government or some NGOs that take care of the environment. So our environment is a stakeholder, and the environment is crying. If you look at the poison, lead is a poison. I know that was a big issue in Michigan when it came to elections. Lead that they found in the tap water was a big issue. That made somebody lose governorship there. Here, we have a lot of mercury being imported into the country. We have champagne not even being imported anymore, but it was being made in Ghana. We have these excavators coming in. Now we have the campaigns that once you try to, all these small boys that are being caught, the campaigns are there. Those behind these galamsey are there. And then nobody seems to be working on it. But I have a lot of solutions that we've talked about. If we don't take care, this issue will escalate to understand that none of us can stay in the country because they are poisoning our water sources. We can't get good water to drink. The consumption rate, now I'm told that Dawa and a whole lot of things that we have have these cyanide and mercury in them. So we are poisoning ourselves. And why the community is supporting all these people, I don't know. But we should be careful, and the government should not, relax on this. The more they push back on us, we've lost people. Remember, we lost 8 people not long ago. The same Obuasi Road. And then it seemed not to slow down. So what do? We need to do a couple of things. Journalists have come in, they've injured themselves. Somebody will have to be flown to abroad to be treated on this. We need to grab the campaigns and use them as an example for everybody to see that the government is not joking with them. 2, we need to initiate a big push for alternative livelihood for those involved. Those in these communities, mining communities, that is all they know, mining. When I went to Obuasi, I was told that those who go to even the legal mining, the food that they eat a lot is emo and abenkwine. I didn't know. So anywhere that I go, I try to learn a lot of things. When they have the rice and then abenkwine, they can be there like 2 weeks or a week under, and they can survive. That is what they know how. That is what they do every day. That is the only skill set that they have. So if you want to take it away from them, give them another alternative source of livelihood. The government should be thinking that way, that what else alternative can we give to them so that this opportunity cost of going to do galamsey will stop. We need to find something for them to do. The other one is that we need to initiate a stakeholder discussion, as we started last time. And these galamseyers are also stakeholders. Let's invite them. When I was a morning show host, I did that. I think I've said it here. Yeah. That I invited the chainsaw operators. If you go to a Tiwa forest, and they were cutting the chainsaw, they were cutting all the trees. We invited them, and they said, this is our only source of livelihood. So the government said, if we give you something alternative to do, and they agreed, they did it. And the chainsaw operating stopped. So they were going to the Forestry Commission. Now, if you even have a tree in your own, farm, you have to go to the Forestry Commission. They will give you a permit. Then you can go and cut the tree. So that is the way we need to work with them. I'm also pleading to Nananom and Atenankonya. Nobody can come to your town or your land and mine without your knowledge. So Nananom should rise up. The way people are coming, not only the Nananom, but the elders, the unit committees, the MPs, the MCEs, the DCs, the assembly members, everybody. If you see something, say something. Because it is the water that you are drinking that is being poisoned. And if somebody is poisoning you and you are not saying anything, I don't know what kind of person you are. So we need to look at that. The other thing is that we need to make attitude adjustment as people. The way we've been looking at, look at EPA people doing their job, protecting your environment. EPA, even before you cite, when I worked there in National Service, before you even cite a fuel station, they will have to come and see the location and see whether it is convenient for, because we've had a situation when there was a rain and then there was a fire. You remember that situation that many people died. So EPA has been protecting our environment, making sure that we are safe. Those who are protecting our safety are those who are pelting stone at. What kind of people are we? So we need to make that kind of attitudinal change. Then everybody should know that galamsey is unacceptable. We should not accept it. I said it here that it is an atasa. And Kwame was asking me what atasa was. It is an abomination. It is bad. Everybody should see it as a bad thing, because in the long term, in the short term, and in the medium term, it is going to threaten our own existence. The way we are buying water now, if you buy the 15 mml of water at the park, 12, it is now almost 40 cedis. If you go for the other one, the rubber one, what do they call it? Not the penny, but the other one, the sachet water, is 10 cedis, 9 cedis, 10 cedis. Now, people who are earning 350, 500, in a month, how many of them can buy 40 cedis worth of water? That means they are going to drink the poisonous one and they will die. Let's think about those who don't have the opportunity as we have. That's what I always think about. Then the last point that I want to talk about, that we need a concrete effort, to make sure that once we see the wrong thing, we report it. But we should have a channel of whistle blowing that we have these galamsey people at this area. The threatening part of what the EPA boss said was that the more we stayed, the more they came. They were coming from the bushes. They are there. Immigration should work to find out these people. NIMOS is doing their work, and I'm saying that NIMOS should be paid well, because we've seen situations where they were being, these Chinese people were trying to bribe them. Now, if you are not paying the NIMOS person well, somebody who is giving a better offer, they will take it. So it's a holistic approach that we have to make. But all Ghanaians, all hands should be on deck so that we cramp down on this illegal mining.
Let me come to Ebo now, and same question, Ebo. I mean, what do you make of all we are learning in the last 24 hours or so about what exactly happened in the Ashanti region?
You know, we just had the Naimos situation. What happened to the Naimos people? Then this time around, EPA certainly, and in both situations, we were told that people were having guns, which means more or less, galamsey areas have become war zones, whether we like it or not. Once people are wielding guns and they are prepared to shoot, then more or less we are having a very serious situation on our hand. You see, I was asking myself a question when Prof was speaking. When she said, the EPA, we don't have guns. We had a few soldiers with guns, others were not having guns. I was asking myself, what kind of operation intelligence gathering went into this exercise? Because if you know you're going to go to areas like that, and we know that when it comes to galamsey, people would want to resist, people would want to come out with guns and all that. Why is it that EPA had to go in isolation? Because I was thinking that EPA was working together with NIMOS. And therefore, when you are approaching such situation, you should be well equipped because you should anticipate.
I mean, they had national security with them. They also had soldiers who were armed as well. But the soldiers were armed.
But from what she said, I mean, they were not enough
They were outnumbered, so they underestimated the.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That what kind of pre-operation intelligence gathering went into this? Because it is important that whenever you are approaching such things, you prepare. Because we don't have to joke with this situation now. I think it's getting out of hand. The fact that now they would want to attack, now they attacked military officers, they are attacking EPA, the next person, the next group of people they are going to attack, we don't know. And so I believe that from the way things are going, you see, personally, I have this solution. People cannot do galamsey without excavators. Excavators cannot be hidden easily. So the first thing we need to do is to make sure we get into our forests, water bodies, get every excavator, whether it is said it is said, or they are saying it's going to be used for construction, whatever. Let's gather all excavators from these areas. That's the first, because there's no way they can mine or can do galamsey without excavator. So let's target the excavators first. Now let's stop importation of excavators. Then let's also seize
mercury too.
Yes, and let's also seize excavators moving from Accra to the hinterlands. If you're able to get all the excavators out of the place, I mean, what are they going to do? They can't use cutlasses and hoes to do galamsey. So we need to target those equipment first. And I believe the way things are going, you should be bold enough to suspend, if it becomes possible, I'm not a lawyer, if we are to suspend a portion of the Constitution to be able to solve this problem, we need to do it. Because this is a serious issue. They are killing us slowly. They are poisoning us slowly. Now they are fighting us. They are confronting us physically. So what are we doing as a nation? I believe that if we really want to solve this problem, if it becomes possible, I said this here some time ago, if it becomes possible, we need to suspend portion of the Constitution to deal with this issue, declare a state of emergency, and deal with this issue. If those areas, because of elections, let me bring in this point. You see, these people, they know politicians are afraid of elections. And so when they are doing it, they know that that fear of losing an election is always at the back of the politician's mind. And therefore, they would want to do this with impunity. If it becomes possible that certain constituencies, we declare those areas, we declare state of emergency in those areas to the point that there's not going to be any election in those areas. So that when we are confronting them, there's no fear of losing election. We confront them, we confront and solve the problem there. Until the problem is solved, there's no election there. So that they will not use the election to blackmail the politicians. I'm telling you what happened with the Naimos people. The MP there probably is afraid because the people who have been supporting him. But if he knows there's not going to be an election in this area, there's no way you mind them. So we need to begin to think outside the box. the kind of solutions we've used over the years, I mean, the result is what we have. So why don't you now do something different, something very drastic, something very brutal? Because people say we shouldn't shoot and kill, fine. But if we shouldn't shoot and kill, what must we do to solve this problem? Because the people don't seem to care. They know, they themselves, they know that what they are doing is wrong. But the issue of providing alternative livelihood and all those things, yes, we can do all those things. But before we do that, what must we do immediately to solve the problem? Because it will take time to put together some of these policies to be able to solve the problem. But in the immediate, what are we supposed to do as a people? I think I'm sad. You see, there's a picture that I had from something that Irasol Asadanko said some time ago. Let me tell you, it has stayed with me ever since. He said, in those days, I mean, I don't want to, if I mention, but I can mention the year because he said it. He said between 2018 and 2019, one of the forests that was destroyed, the size of that forest is as big as Kumasi. And that's scary. And they destroyed it within a matter of 1 year. So if a forest as big as Kumasi could be destroyed within a matter of 1 year, can you imagine if you sit aloof, what will happen to this country? We're not talking about even poisoning the water bodies. The forest itself, which is our oxygen tank, if it is being destroyed at this faster rate, then what is the future for our children to come? So the point is, if it becomes necessary for us to suspend portion of our constitution, because this is war, this is a war situation, and therefore let's do what we would normally do if we are to confronted with a war situation as a nation. And so let's not romance these issues anymore. And the politicians should be bold enough. And I'm saying that if the certain constituencies, we say here, this year, there's not going to be election in these constituencies, because we know the galamsey constituencies. If you can say no election in this area, people will sit up. And the MPs or the politicians will not be afraid. Then we can confront the situation, solve the problem once and for all. Then we can move forward as a nation. I mean, this is too much. I'm so saddened this morning. I mean, giving the story. I mean, a journalist will go, all that he has is his camera, pen and maybe booklet to go and cover so that we will know what is happening. EPA will go because they are mandated to make sure that we are protected. The environment is protected. They will go and do their work, normal, routine, enforcement mission. Then suddenly it has turned into something else. I mean, we should be very furious about this. And I'm saying that, Mr. President, let's do something drastic about this. And if you are to suspend, and no political party, if it becomes necessary to suspend some part of the constitution and declare certain areas, that these areas we are not going to have any election to solve the problem, no political party should come and make noise in this country. Because this is not about political parties. This is about the future of this country and the future of our children. Enough is enough.
Interesting thoughts there. Let me come to Senior now, and you have been a proponent of the infamous, if I can put it that way, shoot to kill approach, and it attracted a lot of criticism when you said that the first time. I think you've repeated it on some previous occasion as well. It both seem to fall short of saying that as the approach. I mean, but we are dealing with an enormous situation, and Prof was pointing to what Professor Kluche had said, that the longer they stayed, the more the people were coming. And basically, our armed men had to run away.
Good morning. You know, I have been vindicated by statement I made about Ghana's gold deposits. That the entire country is covered in gold. Let me read something to you. Ghana is ranked 6th in the world with the largest gold deposit in the world. The World Gold Council 2025 Gold Demand Trends Report has disclosed. The nation is also ranked 1st in Africa with gold deposits of 140.6 tons. The report pointed out that Ghana is Africa's top gold producer thanks to the country's investment and improved artisanal mining regulations. According to the Ghana Chamber of Mines, gold represents about 40% of total export earnings, driving much of Ghana's economic stability. Akable, if this is where Ghana stands with gold, number one in Africa, why don't we want to put it in a better structure? Why? What is stopping us from saying, hold on, let's ban this thing temporarily for a certain duration of time and let's put it in the right format? I have suggested the agricultural way, cooperatives. And whilst you're doing that, you're changing the mindsets of communities, because after gold mining, it won't stop. Artisanal, small-scale gold mining, it won't stop. It's up to the country to structure it and structure it well to gain the kind of revenue that we require. And gold revenue has increased 2025. 2025. It goes to show we have surface gold, we have mid-surface gold, we have deep mine gold, and the deep mine gold is the best in the world. That's why you see, is it AGC, is that what they were called before they were in Obuasi? They are mining gold in the north today. The entire country is covered in gold. Now, we are self-imploding. I remember 2017, when this whole water body galamsey started. Some of us said, very soon, these people will have arms, will have guns to protect their illegal work. Is it not happening today? Is it not happening today? Yeah. And you're trying to tell me that these people, they are not prepared to kill. Is that what you're telling me? Are you trying to tell me that what happened yesterday, if they didn't take the move that they took, EPA, people would not have died, and we should do what? We should protect their lives? It's war. This is a war that we need to win. Me, I'll call them terrorists. What do you do with terrorists? And what is this thing about heavily built men? Everything heavily built men. Why, are we scared of heavily built men? Is that what we are saying? That they can come in and do this illegality? No. No. Look, President Mahama has to be ruthless. If he decided at the time he made the statement that we don't need a state of emergency, today we realize that people can die. Look, the EPA boss would have been killed.
Yeah.
Would have been killed. For what? For protecting the environment? No. No. We cannot sit for just a minority of people to threaten 33 million people. We cannot sit. Threaten 33 million people in so many diverse ways. So many diverse ways. But the question is, the politician, what did Abu Babin tell us? What did Rutufo tell us? Look, I believe government should target chiefs. Any chief with galamsey in your area will target you. Iyoko should come for you as a chief and ask the question, why do you have galamsey in your area? Because we revere chiefs, and because we revere chiefs, they've taken advantage. Nobody is above this book, the Constitution. Nobody. Nobody is above the Constitution. Anybody who does anything ultra-vires in this country should face the law, and chiefs should face the law. If their own are not prepared to sanction, government should step in and sanction. 2017, we talked about this. At the time, water body, wasn't that much. But look at today. The second group of people who we should look at is customs. Customs and the ports. Do they not receive the excavators? Are they not supposed to monitor where these excavators are going? Why are we sitting? We need to be drastic. You are supposed to be a customs officer at the port. You don't make sure that you do what? You monitor where these excavators are going and all that. You see, I believe that we don't love this country enough We don't love this country now. And I'll give you an example of, I just came back from Brazil. GMPC, we're trying to do some work with Petrobras.
You travel every week now.
They are mining. I'm working for Ghana. They are what do you call it? They are petroleum, what do you call it? National company. And you'll be surprised how Brazilians protect Petrobras. You try, they'll deal with you. Citizens, when you even walk the streets and you ask them, what do you think about Petrobras? This is our #1 company. Nobody should try playing with it. We don't love ourselves well enough. And unfortunately, the politics doesn't help us. How many times have I sat around this table and said that this thing should be handled collectively? I have said, President Akufo-Addo has experience. President Kufuor has experience. President Mahama has experience of galamsey. Otumfuo has experience of galamsey. Other big chiefs have experience. Why can't we sit around the table to find a solution to this problem? Why? What is it? And then you ask the question, parliamentarians, politicians, how do you fund your campaigns? You don't go into that. We sit. And what did we see the other day? What was that area where they said an MP went to cause wahala?
Sutifi area.
Yes. It's a sign. Yes, they say you're innocent and proven guilty, but it's a sign. It's a sign. We cannot sit because for me, one of the major things is the water bodies. If for nothing at all, we should have emergency, on water bodies. You try, we kill you straight. Because UN sanctions, UN laws indicate that anybody who tries to do what? To destabilize water bodies of the country is war. So what are we sitting doing? Counting our fingers, clapping for these so-called macho men doing galamsey. We need to face them squarely because it's gradually seeping down south. Even if it doesn't seep down south as galamsey, the food we eat. And then by the time you get to my age, you've developed problems in your body. You say, oh, me na nebi oti crashing a yemi. No! Little drops. But again, those who bring in these chemicals, who bring them in? The mercury, the cyanide, who are those who bring it in? Who? For nothing at all. The border should be protected and protected well. That brings in immigration. So you see how there are so many affiliates to handle this particular issue called galamsey. But we are twiddling our toes, we are twiddling our fingers just because some people want to make money. But tell me, how much money do they make? Those who are in the pits, how much money do they make? It's the financiers who make the big money. Have we ever, in this Fourth Republic, thrown a financier into jail? No. What does that tell you? I'm not serious about the situation. How old am I? It's my grandchildren. It's my grandchildren. Then their children will be deformed. Our health system too is not strong enough. You won't be able to handle the various diseases that would have emanated from galamsey. It has to stop and stop now. Me, I'm still in favor of shoot to kill. It's a war. If you want shoot to kill, shoot to maim. Do you think this, gentleman with the pump action gun, if the soldiers who were with the EPA shot his leg, what would have happened? Will it not destabilize him? Will not be able to arrest him? Will not get information from him? Let's kill small. Do you think if we kill small, this thing will go on? Yes, it's a war. And we are even now getting foreign nationals coming in. The last one, they said Burkina Faso were in there. All kinds of different, No, we cannot run this beautiful country like this. Okay. And I'll end by saying, this country, 3 things that can help our economy, that can take care of everybody in this country: gold, oil, cocoa. These 3 things alone can look after this country. Let's get serious. President Mahama, get ruthless with galamsey. Don't stand any nonsense from anybody. You don't have an election to win. You are there to serve this country. Serve it, especially with galamsey. Let it be a legacy. The way you ended Dumso, same way, before you leave, end galamsey. Amen.
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 How can you preach and say amen at the same time?
Amen.
All right.
There's a part of the statement that Professor Kluche made that I thought was very important, and Senior made reference to the situation on the water bodies. She actually said that they decided to approach and stay a bit more in that area because they realized that the excavators were on the water bodies. It was on a river, actually, and she said that the distraction had been done to the extent that they had diverted the normal course of the water, and it had caused different parts of the area to be flooded. And so that caught their attention, and the people were actively mining in parts of that area as well. And so they decided to try and deal with the situation, and we all saw how everything played out there. Let me come to the MP now. And I mean, when the president spoke months back actually, when he spoke, he did indicate that we have to use our powers as we have it for now. And since then, there was an IGP task force. They were engaged in an operation. They were attacked. They had to fire multiple warning shots. They couldn't apprehend anyone. They just had to fire the shots to ensure that they were safe and get out of the area. We saw what happened with NIMOS. And the NIMOS one, the videos that are on social media, I mean, when I see them, I watch them closely. There's a part of the video, the soldiers were fleeing from the police station into a car. And if you watch that video, one of the soldiers was walking. Someone hit the soldier at the back. The soldier just quickly entered the car and sped off. Yeah. I mean, armed men, their cars were damaged. We see armed men running away. Yeah. Then yesterday, we saw what happened again. Pelting stones at them, they had to run away. I mean, clearly we have to take stock of where we've come, and the question that we need to ask the president directly is, do we still go the same way at this point in time?
Okay, so let me say good morning to the viewing public and to my colleagues here. What I'll say is that my heart goes out to the victims of the accident yesterday. It was regrettable. In fact, earlier, I was not seeing the nexus between what happened and the accident. Only this morning when I heard from Prof, then I realized that even the other vehicle was transporting equipment meant for illegal mining. So for that reason, I think that this was a regrettable incident. But I'll say that we have to commend media and commend all other stakeholders involved in this fight. And particularly important also, I think that the government, as a matter of urgency, need to establish a fund that will take care of some of these things in line of duty. This morning, I remember this day with nostalgic feeling in the sense that on 6th August, in the pursuit of ending galamsey, we lost 6 gallant men in this country. And I thought that was enough for us to use it as their enduring legacy for the future, ending galamsey in memory of those who lost their lives. And if I see incidences like this, it simply tells me that there is still more work to be done. Look, the president, when he met the stakeholders, indicated that he is receiving briefings from National Security Task Force, and as and when they give him green light to declare a state of emergency, he will not hesitate to do that. So, Mr. John, I don't know whether the state at which the briefing has gone, but I don't have any doubt that when that thing comes, President Mahama will not hesitate to do that. But
it's time.
It's time, right?
It's time. So
I'll say that the last time I came here, I said that the issue of galamsey is no longer an alternative livelihood pursuit. It is now a militia. Ordinarily, if the concept was alternative livelihood, unemployment, poverty, once this alternative livelihood program that has been instituted, you see a decline in youth venturing into galamsey. As a member of parliament, I get constituents who tell me they want to go to Obuasi and other places from the north, because the driving force is not because they are poor or they are hungry. It is the pursuit of quick money. So it is now the test of survival to them. And that is why you see them carry weapons. And like my brother said, if somebody is carrying a weapon, it has only one intention, to fire. So if there is a chance of them now attacking all those institutions and stakeholders mandated by law to protect all of us, and this is the outcome that we are getting. And I watched the incident at Honorable College Dauda's constituency, and I realized that this whole galamsey is now endemic in our communities. The starting point is not government. The starting point is the community. As a member of parliament, we all are involved in land reforms in our various constituencies. And so for a galamsey activity to go on in the community, it has a tacit approval of the traditional rulers. It is never possible that galamsey activities can happen in a community where the chiefs are not aware. And when the government, when we started in January this year, the first thing the minister did was regulating the licensing regime, where now licenses are supposed to be obtained at the municipal and the district levels. That has representation of the traditional rulers. It also has representation of the unit committee and the assembly before even EPA and then mineral commissions come on board. That is the new licensing regime. Yet we still see galamsey going on. What it simply tells you is that whatever effort government is putting, they believe that the amount that they will make from illegal mining is more than whatever alternative program that you will bring. Yes, this morning we have all been viewing the impact it is having on water bodies, on the environment and all those things. But senior, let's not also lose sight of the successes that we have chalked. We cannot see that things have not changed. Yes, you can't end this type of problem just by a week or two. These are survival issues. Look at Hamas and Israel. It started, then we thought it would end. Look at the number of lives. They had to take the Americans to intercede in bringing some level of solution to the issue.
Oh no, but you can't compare the two.
No. I'm saying no. I'm saying that whatever the situation is, it will lead to loss of lives if you want to end it the brutal way. There are humanitarian issues, human rights issues, and all those issues that will have to be factored into that. I will never condone any act of galamsey, and every person that is involved in galamsey should be dealt with. But I'm saying that we're talking about the regulatory regimes that have been put in place. Do you know that, Prof? Now every excavator that you import, there's a policy at the Ghana Ports that says that no permit, no excavator imports. So even if you are using it for construction, you must have a permit.
A certificate.
A certificate that shows that you are a contractor, number one. Or if you are using it for mining, you must have certification for Minerals Commission, EPA, and the ministry. That shows that you are having legitimate mandate to carry out mining concessions. And that time, what they will do is that they code it. I don't know how they normally call it, but
they put tracker on
tracker. So everywhere the machine goes, we know. So now, if you had deployed it to Tamale for construction and the machine is moving to Kumasi, they will quickly call you. That is what is currently ongoing. But before the government implemented this reform, there were already existing excavators in the country. That is where we are now. Those ones, you don't have a lot of information on them. And let me be honest with you. In Finance Committee, when we were meeting Minerals Commission and others, I asked them how many excavators were imported between 2020 and 2024. Apparently close to 6,000 excavators. So at that time, Ghana Ports has the number based on the declared values. But as to its whereabouts at that time, they could not tell. We have to also commend EPA strongly. Currently, government is spending a lot of money in land reclamation. And that is the impact of galamsey. Because the more you destroy the environment, it takes us more money to reclaim those lands. And let's also acknowledge also that currently the government is implementing the AI sensing system, where real data analysis is conducted at the ministries. So recently, for EPA, you said that she said they were getting updates from Accra. Now, they have spotted all the hotspots. There is an AI system that has been deployed that can quickly tell you activities that are going on at a particular site that is suspected to be illegal. Because when an activity is going on the site, the first thing they do is at the spot, they narrow it down to see if those concession is under a regulated or mandated license that was issued. That's the first thing. So if it is not, then that's when they deploy to NIMOS and other relevant agencies to tackle. So yes, the results might not be immediate, but at least some forest reserves have been retrieved from the illegal miners. And I will support any call. Look, anybody, murder, the lawyers will say that when you kill, you are sentenced to, in fact, in the revolution days, it was tit for tat. But now you have to be taken through the law. But if somebody has a gun to kill you and you have the opportunity to defend, I think that we have to do that. And also, I want to support my brother from the UP party. That suggested that UP Plus party. That's what it's called.
Yeah, UP Plus. United Party, UP Plus.
Okay.
For short.
So the point is that what intelligence level was carried out before the deployment was done. I think that it's important for us to know that. Because for you to go to a community, they must have been informed by intelligence. So if you go with some number and then they overpower you, in fact, it is not because of their retreat that saved them. They could have still exchanged, the miners, the illegal miners could have still gone ahead to shoot them. So it tells you that protective gears, properly armed officers should be deployed to this. These are not kid gloves. These are not minor issues. You cannot put the lives of people in duty without giving them the necessary protective equipment that they will use. So for that reason, I'll reach out, I'll personally follow this up and say that please, 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 let's not put the life of these officers in jeopardy for nothing, to die for nothing. It is not worth it. It is not worth it. Now, mercury, coming to mercury importation. Yes, I agree that I don't support total ban of importation of mercury because it has other uses, you know that. But we must, as a nation, do needs assessment to know the quantum that is required annually. That should be allowed. There must be some level of a ceiling.
You think we don't know?
No, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But I'm saying that if we realize that it exceeds the thresholds, that's when regulation comes in. But to just ban it, I don't think is the way forward. Okay. And then my final point is that, look, the licensing regime needs to also be strengthened once again. Now, like I said earlier, communities are now involved. I want to say that if an illegal mining activity goes on in a community, the first person to be arrested should be the chief.
I said it.
Yes. Before the promulgation of the Constitution, custodianship of lands and all titles in various communities rested with the chiefs. In fact, it has inbuilt clauses in the Constitution that still gives them some level of power in terms of land ownership. So you cannot be a custodian and a protector of a land at the same time destroying it. If we arrest few chiefs, it will send a signal that, like Mr. Gentile said, no person is above the Constitution. If we set that standard, everybody will begin to know that we are serious. And let me also support once again, finally, that I will also support proposals that says that when you have excessive illegal mining in your community, you should have open confrontation and you should be suspended from participating in elections. This is because it is true. We are political people.
But do they care? They won't care.
No,
They're making money.
no. They will not care.
They won't care.
No, they will not care.
Yes.
But its reprisal impact on political party will be minimal. Because if I realize that, I saw a study by CDD prior to the elections that indicated the number of young people involved in illegal mining. that number was almost close to the number Dr. Bawumia had. So it tells you that that is not a small population you should be told. That should be told with. So for political expediency, many political parties will dilly-dally with such issues just so not to be offended. Because if those group of people decide to sway away from your cause, you will never win power. But if we make a policy or a direction acceptable by all stakeholders, that for this reason, you need to be dealt with and you will be prevented from participating in national elections and all other public engagement, not only elections. You should be blacklisted, you should be declared as a security zone, and everything that we see as red flags should be tackled ruthlessly. That's what I would say about it.
I believe one question.
Yeah, sure.
Let me ask the Honorable. You're in Parliament.
Yes.
Do you know parliamentarians in Galamsey?
No, I don't know.
There's no parliamentarian in the Parliament doing Galamsey.
I am not from a mining community.
Irrespective.
So,
you're saying parliamentarians themselves don't know.
no, how will I know they are in Galamsey?
You're trying to say they don't know.
No. We don't discuss issues like that.
Those doing it, they know.
What did the speaker say?
What did he say?
What did the speaker say? He said, we know all you people doing Galamsey who are in the house. Stop it. Did he not say no?
Then he should have mentioned them. That is the best way to name and shame.
A quick one. A quick one. I was talking to a diplomat who told me that before he came to Ghana, it's a foreign diplomat, before he came to Ghana, two things they told him: that if you buy a land in Ghana, you are buying litigation. So you don't go buy land. And the second one is that know your enemies and draw them closer. So most diplomats who come to this country, that's what they tell them. You don't buy a land in Ghana because you are going to buy litigation. And two, know your enemies and bring them closer. So now we know that the Galamseyers are enemies.
Yes.
How do we bring them closer? In all my research as a professor, I've never seen any situation, war zones, conflicts, that have been solved by another violence. Yes, you can kill all of them. But some will rise up and do the same thing. Because if my mother has been selling weche for 40 years, most people travel abroad, they come back and continue to sell the weche of their parents. It's been the calling of the family. If my mother has been selling cocoa, they will now make it, well packaged, but they're going to do the same thing because
so some of your siblings are selling cocoa.
No, come here. I'm developing a case.
I seem to say it.
Prof, I'm with you. I see where I'm going. Prof, go on. Prof, go on for me. So, I mean, no matter
what I was trying to say,
no matter what is done, it will just manifest in
the jobs run through.
If
somebody's father has been a carpenter, you can see that they can now have technology adding to it, but they love that job, the first job that day. The food that we all grew up with, fufu and others, even when we travel. I've been driving, when I was in Minnesota, Wisconsin, I was driving 2.5 hours just to get a tuber of yam to buy. Because that is the food that I grew up on. That's the point that I'm saying. But I'm saying this to mean that, look, we don't have to use violence to solve violent problems. Yes, I understand the chiefs and everybody involved. But what do we do to strengthen an institution like the NCCE so that they can go, be having the budget to go and educate the people? Sometimes some people are ignorant about the consequences of what they are doing. Don't we see all these boys with talisman and other than that they are protecting themselves, they have guns and that they believe if you shoot them, it's not going to even, kill them because they are protected. It is a source of livelihood. They live in those communities, that's what they do. So if somebody think that this is a militia, as Honorable was saying, yeah, I understand. We all have different perspectives. But I'm of the opinion that violence never solves a problem. Dialogue solves problems. How do we find a way, using common sense, that we call, because these are our brothers, these are our uncles, these are our aunties, they are Ghanaians, they are citizens. They have gone the wrong way. I remember the story in the Bible about the prodigal son, see? And it's beautiful about a son who has taken inheritance from the father, gone to destroy it. And then when he comes, the father throws a party. But the other boy with the father said that, I have served you all my life, and you've not even killed a calf to celebrate me. But this, your son who went and wasted everything, and look at what the father said, that, look, everything you have, I have, it's for you. You didn't have to even work hard to impress me as a father because it belongs to you already. They are citizens, they are Ghanaians, but they have gone the wrong way, they are deviants. The same way that if you have deviants, you see, please wait. The same way that if you have, I know you all want to speak, but the same way that, you see, you have deviants in our own families. Your children, we say there's Mensa in every house, right? You have your own children who can go astray and fight against you. But what do? We have the Absalons and the others. Let's talk to them in a way, in a stern way. Show them tough love. That yes, what you're doing, you want to survive. But you are surviving at the expense of the entire community. And that's a no-no. Okay. That is why you go to, the law takes people to jail. Why? Because the least bar is what they could not clear. You are not supposed to do A, B, C, and D. The Constitution is there to protect us. You are going ultra-virus beyond the Constitution. You are destroying our own existence. So stop it. Okay. Now, how do we do that? If you shoot and kill everybody, that doesn't solve the problem. But let's dialogue in a very stern way to find a way to solve it.
Okay. What's wrong? Yeah. Just a minute. What's wrong did the 8 do to die? What wrong did they do?
They didn't do anything.
But they died.
I had a friend in it.
Because of what?
I had a brother
No. Because of what?
Because of galamsey.
EPA, what wrong did they do to get the pelting they got? What wrong did they do? And you're saying what? We should monocuddle them and say...
No, that's not what I'm saying.
I think you've made a point.
The mindset is such that they are not prepared to change. Money has a strong pull.
Atta talked about something that if they wanted to shoot, they would have shot, right? When they were there. They didn't do that. So they have their conscience. They have their conscience to get them.
I think let me make it clear. We don't have to be romancing this issue.
At all.
I mean, this is not something that you need to be romancing at all. You see, we had galamsey before, and we were not destroying our water bodies because it didn't involve excavators.
They are killing all of us, including you.
Before excavators came to this country to the mining sites, we were having a galamsey, but we were not destroying our water bodies. So the main factor destroying everything is excavators. So why are we not targeting excavators? Because Shamfan is nothing without excavator. But they can still use, excavator without Shamfan and still do the galamsey.
Okay.
So let's target let's target the excavators and get them out of those mining areas. 2, let's expand activities of NIMOS. And I don't think, because of what has happened, EPA should try and go to any other area with the same kind of force.
Yes.
They should involve NIMOS. We should expand NIMOS, put more money there, recruit more people there, and begin to do some of these things.
Okay, I want to ask a question first. When you keep doing something, getting results, and you keep doing the same thing, what results do you expect to get?
You get the same results.
Good. We have had series of activities from President Kufuor till now. We have had dialogues at all levels, constituencies, districts, municipalities.
Not collectively.
No.
Not collectively.
No, I'm coming. You said,
why do you like heckling?
Calm down. When they speak? I'm saying that we have had dialogue. I'm not talking about a particular government.
Go ahead.
I'm talking about successive government has had engagements at all levels. It has still led us with a TBT of about 14,000 levels. We have had prosecutions of both kingpins and the normal people. Some are rotting in jail, yet we still get these stability levels and distractions. We have had burning of excavators, burning of Shamfan machines, seizures and all those things, yet we still have this number of excavators in the site.
The reason why
we have had every government. I'm just telling you why diplomacy has failed us. I'm telling you that we have had all the government and President Kufuor till now, we have always had alternative livelihood program, always. The problem is that it's the opportunity cost. The person is looking at one option, giving him a daily of 5, 10,000, 20,000, as against a monthly salary of 5,000 or 10,000. The person is just doing opportunity cost. Which one is better? So alternative livelihoods done by all government. In fact, at a point, a certain president had to put his presidency on the line in a dialogue room. That was all stakeholders were there. When he did that, including traditional rulers and religious rulers. And then we have set up various task forces, NIMOS, Operation Vanguard, Operation
Galamsey, all of that.
All those operations has also failed. So I'm saying that you cannot keep doing the same thing and expect different results. The cycle of Ghanaian, look, let's not be deceiving ourselves. Every Galamseyan knows that the poison can kill. Every Galamseyan knows. Every Galamseyan knows that people are born with deformities. Every Galamseyan knows that the cost of treatment of water has gone high. every Galamseyan knows that what they are doing is destroying the very survival of the Ghanaian public. Yet they still do it. And I tell you that people in my constituency have approached me. Oh, since we've won, I haven't told them anything. Then I say, what do you want to do? The person says he wants to go and do galamsey. So the motivation behind this, it is not because they are irrational. It is because they are greed. So greed, selfishness, and personal interest is what is motivating this thing, and not because they are not being talked to.
Do you eat meat?
Yes, I do.
You eat meat?
Yes.
What do cows do? We get meat from cows. Cows drink water. And if they drink this contaminated water, are you not contaminated? So let's sit and pussyfoot around.
There's a question I want you to address before we go. It's the community dimension. I want you to deal with it briefly for me. The community dimension. We are now seeing, so a lot of the discussion, we focus on the galamseyers, but we are now seeing that they enjoy active support from the communities where they find themselves. In fact, in the instances that we've seen, the community members, ordinary community members, come to their aid. I mean, how do we deal with that dimension of the fight? Because if we are, no matter how armed these EPA guys were, they couldn't have fired into the community people, if the community, like what you saw with the NIMOS situation. How do we deal with that community angle?
Who do the community revere and listen to? Is it not the chiefs? So whose responsibility is it? The chiefs are seeing what is happening. The chiefs are seeing the community are supporting galamseyers. Should the chiefs equally not call their people and say, guys, this thing you are doing is wrong, and if you try, we will sanction you? Have they done it? That is why I'm saying chiefs should be targeted. In their area where there's galamsey, they should be targeted. Iyoko and Co should pick them up and ask them the question, why is your community doing what they are doing? The EPA boss could have been dead this morning. No fault of hers. She's working for Ghana. Those who went to them, the journalists, some have been what? Been injured. They don't have families. They don't have families. I bet the Joy FM journalist, his people are rushing to the hospital to go and see. Are these people going to pay their transport there? No. Let's stop pussyfooting around this thing. Ghanaians collectively should say this thing should stop. And I said, if we need to shut the country down for government to do what they have to do, let's shut the country down.
I support that.
All right. So that's all time would allow us this morning. This is a conversation that we'll continue to have until we get to the point that we all agree we are dealing with it decisively. Very unfortunately, we couldn't.
And I thought you were going to give everybody like a minute to say something.
Do and see where we can do that.
Yes.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. All that I wanted to say quickly was that nobody likes a stranger, but strangers are friends you've never met before. Before community will allow a stranger to be with them, then there's a reason why. I believe that, yes, today we talk about targeting, the chiefs. Some of the chiefs are doing well, and we need to say that some of the chiefs, like Otumfo, has been talking about it openly, that, if he catches you as one of his paramount chiefs and you are doing this, you have to be dealt with at Menchia. That's a good thing. We encourage the other chiefs. Domahine has been doing the same thing. The other chiefs that have not come out, please, we need you to be on board. So that is why I started by saying Nananom Atinankunya. All of them are involved into this. The custom people who are allowing these machines to come, individuals, when you see something in your community, say it. Do not protect these galamseyers against citizens who have been appointed to protect us.
Okay. So that's Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi. Professor Enoch Opoku-Antwi is a governance and policy analyst. Also joining us, or who also joined us in the studio, is Ebo Backman, Deputy Communications Director of UP Plus.
UP Plus, yeah, very important.
He supports Ebushan. I'll come to you. And Kwame Janto also joined us, a legal practitioner, a member of the CPP, and energy analyst, and Ataisa MP for Sanerugu, who will wrap up for us finally.
Yeah. So 30 seconds. I also want to commend the legal representation that was made at the London International Arbitration Court that delivered us a good judgment, I think 2 days ago.
Yes.
We need to commend them. And overall, I want to urge the government to pursue the $190 million that...
You're bringing a topic we all can
No. I just want to Oh, 30 seconds. I have 30 seconds. So let me use my 30 seconds. So I don't want us to say that because the PDS deal was terminated, we still have to pursue the $190 million that was involved.
Yes, I think that I saw a statement from the
the presidency also has spoken about it.
They'll go after that.
Yes,
that as
yes.
well.
What was collected?
You see what has happened.
No, but it's okay. It's
That is one
okay.
that we'll
I
look
have a
out
lot to say
for.
about it, but I've kept quiet.
But
You cannot
see,
talk about it.
You know
Why
this
not?
gloom and everything. So this is it for our discussion segment. That's what my mom has been calling me since you said that. We take a quick break. When we come, we'll have sports, and we'll talk about that big game coming up on Sunday. Kumasi Asante Kotoko, the best team on earth, will be trashing us to folk. We'll tell you all about that.
Beat them well.
Stay tuned.
Beat them well.